So 5 hockey players in Canada are accused of SA.
Accusations!
These are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
And
So let's get into the story. So this woman is actually not named. She goes by EM, of course, for privacy reasons. But she went to a club. I believe that this was in a gala of some sorts to raise funds for the hockey team. So this woman was introduced to Michelle McLeod, a hockey player, at a club, and they spent time together. They drank a lot. So the amount of alcohol that people drank in this story is the key issue. Everything is being blamed on the impaired cognitive functions for why this whole interaction happened. So regarding the amount of alcohol that this woman has consumed, in total, she said that she believes she had 1 vodka soda, a beer, and at least 8 shots, mostly Jaeger bombs, at the bar, as well as 2 coolers at home earlier in the in the evening. Damn, this one is a drunkie.
Julian.
Most of the alcohol she drank at Jack's would have been purchased by McLeod and his friends, whom she soon pieced together were hockey players, she said. I definitely feel like my inhibition was lowered the more I drank. Mind you, she had 2 coolers at home earlier in the evening. So this woman came out with the intention of drinking and getting drunk. So she understands that the more she drinks, the lower inhibition she has. But yet she still kept drinking. Mentally, I felt just all over the place. Just the dance floor and the loud music was very crowded and very chaotic. I just kind of felt like I was in the mix of all of that and not feeling very aware. So this woman goes to the club. Those dudes are over there raising funds for the hockey team. They have an interaction. She acknowledges that her inhibition is lowering. However, she does not think it's a good idea to actually head home or get somebody to take her home. No, she continues to dance and party. The key word is an adult should come into play somewhere in the story, which, by the way, doesn't. On the dance floor with McLeod, man, those French names, and his friends, the women testified I felt uncomfortable and claustrophobic as they kept kind of taking turns dancing with me. Everyone really close together. I was feeling kind of sandwiched in. I thought I looked really intoxicated, she said, after watching the video, noting her smile but closed eyes. So she's dancing. Apparently she looked intoxicated, but then she goes to say that some of them tried to put hands towards their crotch. So some dude tried to put her hand towards his crotch. I didn't feel a little bit off, but again, with being how drunk I was, I just tried not to think anything of it and go along with it, she testified. Well, if you're going along with it to some degree, that implies consent. Now, you as an individual can take the position that, oh my God, this woman was drunk, but in the court of law, your decisions while being intoxicated doesn't really make any sense. If you're drunk and you manage to kill someone, it's absolutely irrelevant whether you were drunk. You killed someone. You can't use intoxication as an excuse for giving consent to something or committing a crime to something. That's never an excuse. But for some reason, in this case, they're trying to use that as an excuse, as in she was intoxicated. Maybe she should not be allowed to drink then. Clearly, she's still a child. The complainant noted that on other bar surveillance footage, shows her kissing Leod, as she told the court that she was feeling fine about him. I was attracted to him. He seemed interested in me. So she actually, even though being drunk in that scenario, she still had the cognitive capabilities to understand the cues of this individual is interested in me. So she pursues and kisses the guy. She later on says that she felt like McLeod assumed that they will spend the night together, go back to his hotel and have sexual intercourse. So when she was leaving the bar, there was CCTV footage, and this was what she had to say about it. If you guys would be kind enough to drop a like and a sub, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's move on. The court was shown surveillance footage of the pair leaving Jack's before 2 a.m. with the complainant walking towards the stairs behind McLeod. The woman testified that she felt like she was trying to maintain her balance. Let's see whether she was actually maintaining her balance. As you can see, that's the guy, that's her. Yeah, a tiny bit. Once you consumed alcohol to the point where you don't have clear mindset to make decisions where you can actually consent to, for example, sexual intercourse, that tiny bit of pumped is not enough to show that you were stumbling for balance. That is not enough. Those few steps would have been extremely difficult to get down. She would have had to hold on to the wall all the way down. And it seems that she was keeping up the pace with the guy in front. Throughout these articles, nowhere did it say that she verbalized that she doesn't want to be there. All she's making the claim is that she was too drunk, she was not able to consent, and she felt uncomfortable and pushed. The 5 accused, however, have counted that the woman was the sexual aggressor who wanted McLeod to invite them in for a wild night. They claim that she taunted and begged the assembled crew for sex.
Oh, say less.
And consented to all sexual activity. So this is Hart's account of the whole interaction. Throughout the whole night, she was the one to ask guys to do things with her continuously, he said. I've never experienced seeing a girl act like that. Forward and sexually demanding. I just couldn't believe she was saying these things and comfortable enough to say these things in front of a group of people. Hart said that her demands were so constant that he texted teammates Dante Fabro, also single, to come to the room. Cunningham suggested that Hart wouldn't have invited Fabro unless he thought that what was happening was fun and exciting. He told Cunningham that he was pretty confident that he was the first man to receive sexual activity from the women once the men were in the room. And after she had asked for someone to have sex with her while she was pleasuring herself. Let's say you take both sides on the face value. On the face value, the woman saying she was extremely drunk and she was not able to consent. You felt pressured. That's a very, very hard thing to prove, okay? Because if you are exuding physical behavior and you are verbalizing that you are consenting, what's going between your ears, people can't read your mind. Sorry, lady should not have been drinking. And from the guy's perspective, well, this woman is extremely sexually aggressive by all of their accounts. This woman is literally pleasuring herself. At that point, if this is true, that you are pleasuring yourself on their beds, there's a very clear-cut case scenario that you are consenting. You can't get a clearer sign of consent if a woman is literally on your bed, pleasuring yourself, and asking the dudes around to come take turns. Bro, you can't get a more clear consent than that. Maybe I'm reading way too much into the situation. Maybe she just wants a payout. Maybe that's it, from my own personal opinion. But most likely she thought that this would be a, hot girl summer. Maybe like that sort of a thinking of trying to experience having a train ran on her. And it didn't go well. Now she feels regretful about it. And instead of actually taking in the consequences for, consenting to it, if you behave sexually aggressively to the people that later on you claim that they took advantage of you, that simply doesn't work. If you're the sexual aggressor, that means that you initiated the contact. You're initiating the engagement. But yeah, this woman just basically wanted to get her back blown out by the hockey team. I'm pretty sure that she regretted it the next day. So she went to the police, went to the hospital, and instead of accepting that she was a willing participant, from my personal opinion, she decided to file a lawsuit. It's psychologically easier to say that somebody took advantage of you. That's why the interaction happened, instead of actually saying, oh my God, I just did that, and God, I feel disgusted with myself. That's what I think. In my opinion, this is a clear-cut case of false accusations. Either A, she's trying to gain resources from these dudes because they are professional athletes, or she made a huge mistake. She thought it's going to be fun. She thought it's going to be a wild night she can remember, but then she realized that it's a horrible idea. This is why the term believe all women is absolutely insane. I mean, just thinking about rationally, people are willing to lie for anything as long as it benefits them. So if you're saying believe all women, so a woman that's intentionally lying should still be believed. That's crazy. That's insane. You gotta ask yourself, is this actually fighting for equality, or is this fighting for legal superiority to the point where only the accusation matters to convict you of a wrongful doing, of a criminal offense? Imagine putting somebody on a line in which they can spend 40 years in prison. Well, in Canada, it's max 10 for this sort of a crime. But let's say 10 years. You're willing to put that person in jail for 10 years because you regret having behaved in that sort of a manner. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that would be embarrassing if that would come out with, let's say they filmed all of it, and you see this woman on the bed pleasuring herself, begging the men to do something, to do sexual things to her. That would be very embarrassing. So I understand why she would like to switch the position to a victim. But in that case, she's willing to throw those dudes under the bus 10 years for simply saving face. She's willing to throw somebody in prison for 10 years to save face. How evil is that, man? This is my opinion. Again, the trial is still going on. Maybe there's going to be some more evidence that clearly shows that the dudes took advantage of her. I don't know. But so far, from what I have read, from the information that I gave you guys, it seems that this was a complete false accusation. Anyway, if you guys liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.